In a world full of incredibly diverse handhelds, it's so easy to get lost in chasing the latest specs and endlessly debating which device is truly king. But what if we're actually overthinking this? What if we've already tasted greatness but moved on too fast? What if our relentless pursuit of better has actually blinded us from what's actually best? And what if that best already existed in a time before, sitting quietly in our drawer, waiting for us to rediscover it? How would going back change the way that we experience gaming now? Well, honestly, I think it would ruin us. We live in an overstimmed culture. Dopamine is at critical mass, spiked from 1,000 sources that ultimately dump us into a cesspool of distraction, burnout, and ultimately dissatisfaction. In gaming, it's really no different. We have the most advanced tech ever at our fingertips, yet somehow I still find myself doom scrolling the Steam store after work, looking for that next banger game to satisfy myself while my backlog gathers dust. It's kind of ridiculous, honestly. I literally own the best tech out there, and instead of playing it, I'm window shopping for more. And that's when it hit me. Maybe the answer isn't more. Maybe it isn't higher specs or better resolution or faster loader times. Maybe the real key to falling back in love with gaming was stepping down instead of up, embracing lower end tech with limits that forced me to just play instead of endlessly tinkering and scrolling. So, what did I do? I went backwards. This year, I picked up a PS Vita secondhand from a local game store. Why? Honestly, because I completely missed out on the Vita during its heyday, and it's always been that one console that just got away. The design always stuck out to me as being so sleek and ahead of its time, and its library carried this sort of mysterious allure and enigma that I had to experience for myself all those wonderful JRPGs. Plus, having loved the original PSP back in the day, the Vita ended up being this fascinating mix of brand new console experience wrapped in a heavy dose of nostalgia, all baked into one very justifiable purchase. And the result of owning one? Well, it slowed me down in the best possible way. It pulled me into an ecosystem of relics that made me appreciate the simpler side of gaming. I'm back to playing instead of endlessly tinkering and tweaking settings or chasing optimal performance. I'm not thinking about the frame rates or graphic sliders anymore. I'm just enjoying games again, the way I used to when I was younger. And that shift alone has been refreshing and even meditative for me. Because of this, the PS Vita has completely changed how I look at handhelds. And in the process, it's managed to ruin these three major components of gaming for myself. Maybe it's because I'm late to the game and the sheer abundance of unplayed gems somehow feels intoxicating, or maybe it's because most RPGs and JRPGs have just aged so beautifully on the Vita that I honestly feel like I could spend all my free time working through this new massive backlog. Either way, this dynamic forming with me and my Vita has me neglecting my other once beloved devices. At times, it even feels like I'm cheating on my other handhelds with how much dust they're now collecting. Dare I admit, I actually spotted a speck of dust on my Steam Deck? Blasphemy, I know. Part of this revelation is forcing me to really examine why I buy new consoles and gaming devices in the first place. Am I chasing novelty? Trying to cure some boredom or masking some lurking depression? Probably. Those questions quickly spiral into things like, how much does the product actually cost me in comparison to the time I'm going to spend on it after the initial 90-day honeymoon? And if I'm being brutally honest, most of my devices lose their shine and glimmer once that window passes. The newness wears off and I drift back to old habits, aka doom scrolling and boredom shopping on the Steam store. But the Vita and its incredible gaming library, goodness, this little thing has had me glued to it well past the 90-day mark. And if anything, the value feels like it's compounding over time. I find myself reaching for it again and again, especially on work trips where it just feels like the perfect travel companion if it's right in my pocket. And it's not just nostalgia or novelty anymore, it's actually genuine sustained joy of a hobby that I feel like I fell out of love with. It would be incredibly foolish for me to talk about how the Vita ruins gaming without showcasing the modding scene. Honestly, the craziest part about modding the Vita, besides the massive new potential that it unlocks, is just how ridiculously easy it is now. Back in the day, getting this thing modded required a minimal IQ of 97, the patience of a turtle, and maybe even a small sacrifice to the tech gods. But today, well, you can do it in about 11 minutes with a YouTube tutorial and the patience of maybe Squirrel. Huge shout out to Junior, link in the description. And once it's done, it's done. You've basically opened the floodgates to countless titles, all through ROMs you totally and ethically own. You might just be thinking, wait, didn't you just say that you don't tweak settings anymore, mindlessly scrolling through optimal performance? And yeah, that's still true. The beauty is that it's not like the endless setting tweaking you get trapped with more modern devices or hardware. I modded it once and called it a day, and I've never touched the settings again. The Vita still sits firmly in my little minimalist approach to gaming, and it's simple, no frills, just pick it up and play, while quietly flexing its new unlocked powers in the background, giving me access to games that honestly I never would have had access to if I didn't mod it in the first place. And if you're like me and sometimes don't even know where to start with a brand new modded device, don't worry. Behold my top 5 PS Vita RPGs, because my standalone top 10 or 5 videos don't perform very well, but I like making them, so enjoy a micro video within my video. Number 5 is Disgaea 4. It's an over-top tactical RPG full of absurd humor, deep mechanics, and endless grinding for godlike characters. Number 4 is Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. It's a sleek digital detective JRPG where you build Digimon teams and meet stylish mystery storytelling. It's one of the best games, and honestly, don't even buy the remaster, just enjoy the original. Number 3 is Memories of Calcutta. It's a YIS title. It's a fast-paced action RPG with fluid combat, massive world, and it looks just absolutely incredible on the Vita. Number 2 is Final Fantasy X. Honestly, it's a faithful port, and it's amazing carrying this title in your pocket in this form factor. And the last one, number 1, you cannot talk about RPGs without talking about Persona 4 Golden. It is the definitive JRPG Vita experience. It blends life sims, dating sims, and dungeon crawling experiences all into one crazy detective story. You just cannot go wrong with these titles. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Going back to how the PS Vita ruined gaming for me, the last item on my list is the community. And yeah, I know I might sound a little bit sappy here, but I really don't care. Everyone in the Vita community that I've both met or interacted with has been incredibly supportive and ridiculously knowledgeable. Like, I remember when I needed to replace a screen on my Vita, within hours, I had dozens of people reaching out to me with legit sources or tutorials or recommendations, even offering to walk me through the replacement over Discord step by step. And just honestly, what community is that supportive? And it's not just about repairs or advice either. The community's dedication to creating and porting beloved games onto a modded Vita is just mind-blowing. We're talking hundreds of fan games, ports, and little projects of passion, all accessible for free, and all made because of people refusing to let this console fade into obscurity, despite its developers not even giving a rat's about this device. At this point, the Vita isn't just surviving, it's actually thriving, held up by the most beloved fans. And honestly, that passion is pretty contagious. It makes me feel like I'm part of something bigger than just a single device now hiding in my own home. It feels like I'm part of a movement that is dedicated to preserving this beloved handheld for future generations of gamers who might have otherwise missed it. So yeah, in conclusion, the Vita has been incredibly impactful for me, not just in reigniting my love of gaming, but it's also played a massive role in helping me restore some much needed dopamine to my very fried brain. And here's where it gets interesting. I decided to actually test this idea. I ran a little experiment in another video where just me and a Vita, nothing else, for 30 days to see what would happen to my focus, my habits, and honestly, my entire relationship with gaming and ultimately doom scrolling. And if that at all sounds interesting to you, well, I definitely recommend you click the video right here. I ran the entire experiment and documented the entire thing while traveling abroad and living in several different countries along the way. So yeah, go check it out. And thanks for all of your love on this channel. It really means a lot. Go tell your grandma I said hi, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.